Hi you guys. I wanted to make a video because the Lord blessed me with a dream that I think might be prophetic and I'm sure is confirmation. I often go on YouTube and search for videos when I have a certain dream and search for others who may have had some sort of similar dream or vision or something for confirmation. So that's the main reason I'm doing this, is because I'm thinking maybe someone out there would be having the same sort of dream or looking for some type of confirmation. So here's my dream, and I did some sketches so that my dream is conveyed visually also. Let me just find them. Okay. So basically, the dream starts out with me being on this ship, this big sort of cruise ship, and I understood that it was owned by some sort of rich Hollywood celebrity type of people. The ship was like fancy on the outside, but on the inside it looked like sort of a 80s ferry kind of design. Everything was made in steel, bolted to the floor, and everything was painted white, sort of like in a attempt to cover everything up, sort of thing. I'm in the dining room area of the ferry, and I'm sitting at this table right here on this bench facing this person. So on the right of me there's some people sitting and eating, and up front is the kitchen with these sailor type of people in all white clothes with like a sailor hat on. So I'm talking with some women that's sitting at this table, and they're leaving the table as I like sort of gain consciousness of the dream, or I don't know, sort of come into the dream. The scenario that's sort of already playing out is said something offensive to them. And they're all sort of like these hipster types of people with some fashionable outfits, and they all have like strict haircuts, neat haircuts, and they're leaving the table and left is this young woman in a green shirt with black hair, and she is like sitting with her arms across, and she doesn't seem very pleased with me. And I tell her, I know I seem annoying, or I know I am annoying, and she just seems to agree with me on that part. So so I get up from the table somehow, and I end up in the kitchen with these sailors, and the cabinets behind or on the wall between the table and the cabinets on the wall that's hanging. This wall right here is all like, it's sort of coming out of the wall, and it's all like square, edgy. It's like there's some stuff hidden behind there, and everything is sort of painted over. Now I tried to draw here. This is supposed to be like a lampshade that was sort of like inside the wall, and then the wall sort of buckles out here, and then some sort of pipe was going right here underneath. So all sorts of things sort of going on behind the wall, and it's all sort of plastered in white paint. So I'm standing there at the kitchen table between these two sailors, and I noticed that out of this table lamp, water is squirting out in my face, and it's sort of like dusty a dusty sprinkling. So I tell this sailor over here, I tell him we've got a leak. And this sailor over here, he sort of pops out on the left of me. He has a screwdriver and he says, no problem, we'll fix that. And then he puts the screwdriver in the screw that's sort of like attached to the lamp. And the water sort of ceases but is still dripping. And I noticed that the rest of the tabletop is sort of filled with garbage and old stuff, food and more water. Like, I'm thinking this is leaking more than this is a problem. This is like there's water everywhere and it's coming out of the walls. Let me just look at my notes and see what else. Well, then what happens is, the last thing I notice is, because I'm standing there thinking maybe I should get out of here somehow, and I notice there's a ladder attached to the wall. It's not very well drawn here, but it's sort of in that area. And then I notice next to the ladder that there's a poster hanging on the wall, and the poster is of it looks like a stock photo of a child and a mother sort of laughing, and the mother sort of like holding him tightly in a sort of like a hug, tiggle sort of manner. I haven't drawn it properly, but it's basically a mom and her son. But the scary thing is that the son, he's smiling and laughing, but his mouth is filled with like these tiny sharpened teeth, sort of like Ferengi teeth, and her mouth as well. He's like bound in some sort of rope made from like some sort of animal, like sheep. And then his hands, I haven't drawn it here, but he's actually holding his hands like that in front of him, and his hands are filled with like these white pins, what's it called, the ones that you like used to attach to a board or something, right? He's filled his like the lower part of his palms are filled with these needle pins. And I hear in my head, time for vaccination. So what happens in the dream is that it sort of skips to something else, a different scenario that's more like nightmarish, where I'm in this weird shopping mall, sort of like a strip mall or something outside, and weird things are going on, like scary things, and it doesn't seem like a pleasant place to go. So I try to get out of there, and there's no room for me in the bus, and so there's like one seat on the bus, and I'm like, I don't want to take that from another passenger that's also waiting by the bus in the dream. So I'm like, you can just take it. So what happens after I tell her that, I'm put back in the other dream with this boat and the ship. This time I'm standing on the like back end of the boat, and I'm looking all over these people that's sitting in the front on like these chairs in the deck, and besides me is this old man with gray hair, and he's sort of holding out his arms, and then he's saying, I did it, this is my life work, these are the people who will inherit it. And I'm thinking that he's talking about the boat. The boat is sort of his life work. He is the owner of the boat, I understand, in the dream. And all these people sitting down here, they're all dressed in these like summer clothes. They seem white, they seem rich. Yeah. And next thing I'm told, I'm like understanding in the dream that we're at his house, and he is like, finally I can retire. And as it says that there's this narrative voice, like a female voice that comes into the dream, and that's, I only had that happen to me once in the past. I don't usually have people narrating stuff in my dreams. But as he says that, he's like, finally I can retire. Then I hear this voice say, yes, and the final step is getting rid of the boat. We'll help him with that. And as I hear that, I see the boat from like up, like bird's view. Like it's parked in this cave, not cave, but like a mountain cliff. So it reminds me of like Scottish hills or something, mountain cliffs from there. So his house is like up here somewhere. And I see this boat, and like it's like these invisible hands are like pushing the boat out to sea, and I see it sets on fire, and it just starts burning enormously fast, and fire is just bellowing out of the ferry or the ship. Now the ferry in the dream, I've drawn it because it was like, but it was actually really tall. Like this is the cliff. The ferry was like almost as tall as the cliff. It was huge. And as it like sort of sets off, the old man, he realizes what's happening. So he runs out and he just jumps. He leaps over the cliff and down into the water together with some other people. And as he does that, I'm thinking he's surely gonna die. But as he hits the water, I see him sort of like flapping about a little bit. So I'm thinking in the dream, he seems like he survived, but he's not gonna catch that ferry, and he's not gonna save that ferry in any way. So that was basically the dream. The dream ended there. Now, I of course looked up Bible meanings of ships and such, and I found something on biblemeanings.info, which was about ships and how they denote the knowledge and doctrinal things of falsities and evil. Babylon denotes a worship which outwardly appears holy and inwardly is profane. Moreover, no one can fail to see that by ships something else than ships is meant here in Isaiah, where it says, "Thus saith Jehovah your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, for your sake I have sent to Babylon that I may throw down all her bars and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships." And it says here, where the meaning is similar, moreover, falsities from evil are signified by ships in Isaiah 2:11, 16, 23, 1, 14, and Psalms 48:7. So I'm gonna choose to interpret the ship as symbolizing false truth that the elite has used and spread, and basically view this ship or ferry as a symbol of the elite's evil doing. Like, let's say it's the flagship of the elite's evil and wrongdoing in the world. I also looked up spiritual meaning of water, as this water that was leaking into the ship seemed significant. I also looked up the meaning of the sea. I actually have this knowledge from previous research, so that's why I wouldn't say I looked it up. I'd rather say that I gathered it from previous knowledge and information I had. So here's my interpretation of it, the dream. The ship symbolizes false truth that the elite has used and spread. On the basis of this, they've have wealth and status. Like the ship is pristine on the outside. You can't see that it's like broken down and run down in on the inside. So they sort of cover it up. The water that's leaking in is representative of divine truth pouring in, sort of damaging or destroying this ship. So the divine truth is pouring in into our society, into our collective consciousness, and is sort of damaging their plans and their status. The man who thinks that the ship is his life work, he has some sort of Aryan descendants that he wants to give this to. So that might say something about the basic agenda or the people behind this agenda, their worldviews, or something about, you know, this containing to the West and Western culture in specific. So the elite's flagship has become a sinking ship with fire on it. In their attempt to save it, they don't think rationally, but throw themselves off a cliff down into the ocean, which symbolizes the sum of humanity's sin. And he also throws himself off the cliff together with the other people that's somehow with him, like his closest people. They all leap off the cliff. So yeah, there you have it. I'm sorry if that was a little long. I hope you found it informative. I hope that it helps someone make sense of something out there. I felt like I don't get like these kind of dreams ever, so I felt like it was a great gift and a confirmation of what's going on right now in the world, that we're gonna beat the system, the beast system. God is with us. And also I wanted to say that this narrating voice I heard in my head saying now he just needs to get rid of the ship, that was sort of like in my mind. In the dream it felt like it was angels, or that it was coming from above. And I also sort of felt like there was these hands pushing the ship out to sea. So, and I also sensed like a great like joy or like excitement from this voice. They were like, yes, we're gonna help him with this last part, which seemed logical in some sense, because his whole life's work is this ship. So but these people were like excited. They were like, yes, we're gonna destroy his ship. Like he was gonna be excited about it too. Like they were helping him. So so I don't know who like this old man represents. Maybe just like some sort of old world order or the Satan. I'm not sure exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here because giant military helicopter is flying by. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye.